Let's go to page 291 and start with 43. Okay, you have square root of negative 12a times square root of negative 3a. As soon as you see the negative inside the square root, you need to go and make it into I right away. So I'm going to make this into the 12. I'm going to make into 3 and 4. Okay, and the negative becomes I. This one I'm going to make into 3a and the I. Okay, and the reason I break into small parts so you can go and simplify. Okay, so square root of 3 will give me a 3. Okay, so that takes care of that. Square root of 4 will give me a 2. So that takes care of that. Square root of a will give me an a. I times I will give you negative 1. Okay, so you can just go break it down and simplify. Then after that you do the final step to put everything all together. So this give you negative 6a. Okay, let's go to number 45. Okay, when you have fraction, just go and separate the top from the bottom right away. So you got, and so okay, let's go and do this. Okay, so you got negative r over 5 times square root of negative 20 over r. So in the future, instead of copying upon what you want to, you want to go and separate the top from the bottom. Okay, so you're going to get square root of r over square root of 5 I. Right, negative inside square is I. This one, okay, I'm going to break into 4, break into perfect square. Okay. Okay. So again, negative is the I, 20 is 4 times 5, r is on the bottom. So now, notice this can cancel out, this can cancel out, okay? So square root of 4 is 2, okay? I times I is negative, so it would be negative 2, and that's it, okay? So you can break into small parts, and then you can cancel, you can simplify afterward. Okay, number 47. You have square root of negative 3c squared plus square root of negative 27c squared minus square root of negative 45c squared. Okay, so let's go and simplify each of these. Okay, so c squared square root becomes c, and this would be square root of 3 and the I, right? Plus, okay, again, 27 would be 3 square root of 3, c squared would give me a c, and negative will give me an I. Okay, minus, so 45, again, if you go off to the side, if you don't know off your head, just go to the side, so it would be 3, 15 divided by 3, get 5. Okay, so it would be 3 square root of 5. Okay, so you can simplify each part. Square root of c squared is c, and square root of negative is I. Okay, okay. So now, normally you want to put square in front, so let's go ahead and switch these so it doesn't look looks kind of weird. Okay, let's go and switch these. Let's go and make it into square root of 3c. Okay, no, okay, so they don't go the same. Okay, so you got, so now the variables are the same, right? So just look at the front. Okay, so this one you cannot do anything because this is a different square root. But this one you can, okay? So this one, 1 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3 give you 4, right? Okay. But normally you kind of write the square on the back. Okay, so you're going to get 4c square root of 3i. Normally the I goes in the way in the back, and then the square root and the, so number, variable, square root, and the I. Okay, so same thing up here, right? So again, 1 plus 3 give me 4, and then the c is kind of the factoring, right? Okay, so minus, again, let's put in the same format. So it'd be 3c squared of 5i. Okay, and this one you cannot combine. So this one is kind of messy because you have the number, you have the variable, you have the square root, you have the I. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you got square root of negative 4r cubed plus square root of negative 64r cubed minus 4r square root of negative 16r. Okay, so let's go and simplify each part, okay? And I'm going to go backward, okay? So r cubed would be r square root of r, right? The 4 will give me a 2, and the I square root of negative 1 will give me I, okay? And plus, again, I'm working backward. So the square root of r cubed will give me r square root of r. 60 square root of 64 will give me 8, okay? And I'm going to put 8 in the front, okay? And square root of I will give me square root of negative 1 will give me an I, okay? Minus, okay, so this one cannot do anything. This one can come out as 4, so it'll be minus 16r square root of r I. Again, always put I in the back. And the reason for that is because you want to get into the habit of writing a plus bi form. So I always go in the back, okay? Okay, so again, the square root of 16 is 4, and so 4 times 4 give me 16. Okay, so now if you look all the variable part, okay, all the variable part are the same. So these are like terms. So all you have to do is just combine the coefficient. Okay, so 2 plus 8 is 10, minus 16 is negative 6, and so negative 6r square root of r I. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you got square root of negative x to the 5 plus x square root of negative 25x squared minus x squared square root of negative 25x. Okay, so let's simplify this part of it. X to the 5, when you simplify, you're going to get x squared square root of x, right? Because you can break into x to the 4 and x to the 1, and x to the 4 becomes the x squared from the square root. And then the square root of negative is I, okay? Okay, plus, so again, this is going to come out, the square root of x squared become x, times this x will give me x squared, and square root of 25 will give me a 5, and square root of negative 1 will give me an I, okay? Minus, the square root of 25 comes out, becomes a 5, so it'll be 5x squared, square root of x, I, right? Again, this 25 comes out over here, and this one stay, and square root of negative is I. Okay, so now again, if you look at the variable part, okay, this one is different from the other, so you can combine these two together. So this is 1x squared plus 5x squared, so it becomes 6x squared square root of xi. Okay, so combine these two. Oh, wait, it's a minus. You have to be careful, it's a minus, so it'll be minus 4. So 1 minus 5 is minus 4. Okay, and plus 5x squared I. Okay. Now, if you don't like the negative in front, you just switch the 2. So you got 5x squared I minus 4x squared square root of xi. Okay, so this looks probably better. Okay, normally you don't want to start with a negative in front. Looks kind of awkward. Okay. Okay, let's go to number 53. Okay, you want to simplify I to the n for n equal to 2, 3, all the way to 12. Well, let's start with 0. So I to the 0, n to the 0 power is 1. Okay, I to the 1, well, n to the 1 power is just by itself, right? Okay, then I square, okay, I square equal to negative 1. Okay, then I cube is equal to what? I cube is equal to this times this, right? I to the 1 times I to the 2 will give you I to the 3. So this times this means this times this will give you negative I. Okay, then you go I to the 4. Okay, I to the 4 would be times these two together, or you can square this one, right? So I squared times I squared give you I4. So I squared times I squared give you negative 1 times negative 1 will give you 1. Okay? And notice you start to repeat the pattern, right? Okay, so if you cut off right over here, so if you go I to the 5, okay, I'm going to just use this column over here. So I to the 5 is equal to I to the 1 times I to the 4, right? Okay, so I to the 5 is equal times these two together, so equal to I. Okay, I to the 6 will equal to this times this, right? This will give you I to the 6, so it give you negative I. I to the 7 is this times this together, right? I to the 3 times I to the 4 give you I to the 7. So it multiplies together, it will give you negative, this will give me negative 1. Negative 1. So be careful. Okay, right? This times this is equal to this times will give you negative 1. And this would be negative I. And I to the 8 is equal to this times itself. Right? I to the 4 times I to the 4 give you I to the 8. So 1 times 1 give you 1. So you can see the pattern, right? Okay. So now if you go to I to the 9, well, I to the 9 is equal to this times this, right? I to the 1 times I to the 8 give you I to the 9, so it would be I. Or you can use any combination. You can use I to the 4 times I to the 5, so this times I give you the same thing, right? Okay, I to the 10, again, you can use this 2, right? Or you can use this 2, you can use this 2, you can use any 2. But this is the easiest one, right? I to the 4 times I to the 6 give you I to the 10. So this times this will give you negative 1, okay? And I to the 11 equal to I to the 4 times I to the 7. So when you multiply, you get negative I. I to the 12 equal to I to the 4 times I to the 8. So when we multiply, 1 times 1 give you 1. So you can see the pattern. It goes in a cycle of 4. Okay? So let's say if you're I to the 12, to figure that, you just go back by 4, go back by 4, go back by 4, which is I to the 0, right? If you write I to the 0 over here. Okay? Okay? So if you move this down here, so you can see it goes in pattern of 4. So if you just going back by 4, so let's say if you have I to the 11, you go back by 4, you get I to the 7. See, you can go back again, I to the 3. Okay, so that's the pattern. The pattern is going in a cycle of 4. So you can go back by 4, go by 4, go back by 4. Okay, so now when you get to number 54, okay, let's do A. Okay, you're going to do I to the 100. What does this equal to? Well, if you keep going backward by 4, you can go backward 25 times, right? So you got 100 divided by 4, right? Then this is equal to 25 cycles. So again, every cycle you go backward is, every time you go 4 is 1 cycle. So you can go backward by 4 25 times. So this becomes I to the 0. Okay, because the remainder equal to 0. So this is the remainder. So you go backward 25 cycles and it will give you the remainder of 0. Okay, so again, so 100 you go back 25 times, you will end up right over here. And so this will equal to 1. Okay. Now 54b is I to the 101, right? Again, you can keep going backward by 4, right? The multiple of 4. So if you don't know how to do this, just keep going back by 4, right? So you can go backward by 4 or 40, right? So this is equal to I to the, if you go backward 40, which is 10 cycles, right? It becomes 61, right? And you can go back by another 40, become 21. And you can go backward by 20, right? Multiple 4. So you keep going backward by multiple 4. So it becomes I to the 1 and equal to I, right? I to the 1 is I, right? So you can do that. Or you can just do this. Okay, 101 divided by 4. So 2, get 8, 21, 5, 21, right? So what it's saying is that 101 power, you can go backward 25 cycles. Okay, and that will give you 1 left over, and that's where the 1 came from. Okay, so you keep going backward 25 cycles, you get 1 left over, so it becomes I. Okay, so that's how you simplify the exponent of I. So now if you go to C, okay, I of 102, again, if you're going backward by 100, this is equal to I to the 2, right? If you do the same thing over here. And so I to the 2 will equal to negative 1. Okay, and now if you go 54D, okay, I to the 103. Okay, again, if you go backward, okay, 25 cycles of 4 means this is equal to I to the 3. Okay, and so this will equal to negative, I to the negative 3 is negative I. Okay, so it'd be negative I. Okay. So with that, okay, let's say if you I to the, let's say 2022, okay, what would this equal to? Okay, well, for one thing, this will equal to, if you go backward by cycle of 4, right? So you keep decreasing the multiple 4. So this is equal to I of 22 equal to I of 2. So it become I squared, so it become negative 1. Okay. So you can do this, right? 22 divided by 4, so 5. Okay, 20 drop, cannot drop. Okay, so you can go backward 505 cycles of 4. Okay, again, every cycle you go is 4, so you go 505 cycles and you get 2 left over, and that's where the 2 came from. Okay, so you can do it the long division, or you can just do it quick, just keep going down until you get a number that you can simplify. Okay.